So today we're going to take you through a performance profile consultation questionnaire. So one thing I like to do when we meet for the first time is go over things that make an athlete mentally tough. So what do you think makes an athlete mentally tough?
First off, just natural ability. Second, being focus. Willing to be proactive, so I guess a sense of like proactiveness in a way. Drive, grit, confidence, and a goal setter. Goal setting mentality. And those few that I just mentioned are important to me just for the fact that it's always worked for me. And those things, I feel like, throughout my days at football, I think those are the things that I notice in myself the most. And it helped me shine. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. In your performance review, what would you rate yourself from a 1 to 10? 0 being not at all, 10 being absolutely perfect.
In all of these areas?
Yep.
Overall, I would say probably an 8.
For all of them?
Oh, like
individually.
Individually. So ability, I would say more like a 7.5. Let's say. Focus, I would say more like a 8. Proactiveness, I think would also be like a 7.5. Drive, I would say more like a 9.5. If we have to round up or down, we can just round down. So would I just do drive? Yeah.
Yep.
So grit, 10. I'm ready to go. Confidence, 10. Goal setting, I would also say let's say 8. So I think pretty high across the board.
Yeah, that's great. So performance profile can be viewed as an inventory of where you're at with these mental skills right now, not necessarily where you'll be in a few months or in a year from now. So what would you consider to be your psychological weaknesses? Does anything jump out at this point that you would like to make large gains with out of these?
Out of the ones I just mentioned?
Yep.
The weaknesses here, I guess the ones that I obviously rated the lowest of the ones that I said, I guess would be maybe proactiveness. And I guess it would be ability, so I rated that the lowest as well, 7s, 7.5s. And I have to say why.
Why would you rate yourself weaker in these areas?
I think it's just because, well, my ability, I think I was good at athlete. I think I was a pretty solid athlete, but I think it didn't match probably like my confidence and my confidence in my ability, just because just comparably. I think I ran around the field like a madman, but I didn't always have like my feet under me that maybe like a really, really, really good athlete, that maybe he had that, right? I maybe didn't have that exact thing. I think I worked really, really hard to be where those guys were at, but I think I had to work pretty hard just to be like the best, the best me, I guess. Let's just say that.
Sure.
Sorry.
Sure, no, that's great. How does your profile, strengths and weaknesses affect your performance and behavior in football?
Wait, sorry, I didn't answer that second part of the question. Does anything jump out to you at this point that you would like to make large gains with? I would like to probably make, I would have liked to make all these gains probably more when I was actually being competitive, throughout high school. I wish I could have played some college ball. Maybe I would have taken it into there and considered this question a little bit more, but now I think it's more just like I just want to be able to walk around and live because I'm getting old and I'm cracking and all that. So I think just the ability, or wanting to stay alive right now is really the main goal of what I want to do is probably increase my ability in that regard. I guess that's the one area I'd like to probably, get in check just so I can keep making gains in just like my everyday life and just living in general. So
keep a strong, able body. That's good.
What do they say? If you don't use it, you lose it.
That's right.
Something like that. So
now, how does your profile, strengths and weaknesses, affect your performance and behavior in football?
I think it affects me, might I add, in a positive way. Just because I think, I don't lack too much. It's not, all the things I mentioned weren't, crazy outliers when it came to like me rating them, like on my personal level, my personal scale. So I guess, to answer that, I guess it makes me feel confident. I think I have all the boxes kind of ticked, and I don't feel overwhelmed by like what I kind of already have in the toolbox. I feel like I can utilize them, and I know how to. So
very good. That's great. What goals would you say that you have for improving in any of these areas? Say ability, keeping that strong, able body.
Just keep moving, and also just staying disciplined in my everyday life. When it comes to, I guess, ability is, getting in the weight room, right? Doing all the things that, require us to, remain active, getting out for runs, lifting weights, whatever it is. That's a way to kind of, stay athletic. Obviously, football requires it, but also like with focus and, kind of just always having maybe a schedule in your day. I guess you can link that up with proactiveness or the ability to be proactive. Just really having a plan for your everyday, being on a schedule, discipline, really it ties into that. I should have mentioned that as one of the things on this chart, but discipline, I'll say now, that's a huge part of it and plays into that proactiveness. Not procrastinating everything in your life really can translate to other parts of your lives, not just like in the athletic sense and the emotional sense, all the different ways. So just really just being consistent. Let's see. Yeah. And I guess what were the other ones here?
Ability, drive.
Yeah, grit too. Kind of ties into. Kind of losing the, that ability. You don't want to lose the ability to like really want something. You got to really, you got to know in your heart and soul that you want to do something and like be better at something before really like being successful in getting to that goal, right? You need to kind of have it in your head that I'm going to win, I'm going to do all these things. It's kind of like a self-talk kind of thing. And I think that, grit's a very large, broad thing to say, and it ties in a lot of different things, like a lot of these characteristics of,
tough athlete.
Of a tough athlete. So, yeah. I guess that's the long of it. So
no, that's great.
Okay. All right.
No, that's great. How could you use your profile to improve your psychological skills and performance in your activity, football? Now that you know these, how would you, be able to better yourself in football?
Well, I guess fine-tune the things that I'm really, really good at, make sure I can get a couple of those 9s up to a 10 so I can maybe focus my energy more on the things that I am lacking in. So I guess spending more time on those things and doing things that, entail better, ability, right? Or entail better, focus. Being proactive and drive. There's things in your daily life that, like I said, if you do them enough throughout all your different, modes of life, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, everything. If you do that in your every single day, throughout everything you do, it usually translates to all the things you do all the time in every mode of your life, right? So I guess just being proactive in that way and starting with little things and creating good habits for yourself can really ensure these things and some of these things where I'm lacking. So yeah, focusing on my weaknesses more than my strengths. Sometimes it will help me be better. So.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. And talking about those things that you're going to be able to be using to help yourself improve on those areas that are potentially weaknesses. are thinking of things like anxiety. If you're full of anxiety, that hinders your ability. So think of it like cooked versus raw spaghetti. It's like relaxed, intense muscles. Like things you could do is use a sponge or a stress ball to slow your tension and relax, and that using that sponge ball also provides a visual representation of contrasting tension versus relaxation. So that would be something that you could work on that could improve your ability to relax and be confident.
Nice. That's definitely some good advice. I'll have to use it.